moving, no time to spare. Colors blend into the scene, solving puzzles like a dream. Hands are moving light and quick, got our tricks and perfect flicks. Every corner piece fits tight, speed puzzlers, we own the night. Puzzle mania fills the room, hearts racing, we feel the zoom. Victory is almost near, speed and fun, we have no fear. Puzzle pieces like a storm, shapes and edges we transform. Patterns forming under stress, speed puzzling at our best. Every second counts today. Focus sharp, don't drift away. Lost in pieces we unite, building worlds with all our might. Whispers humming in the air, laughing, dancing without care. From the chaos, order springs, puzzles so.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this EJJ competition. Lovely to see you all here. We see some nice mascots on the tables. We see some warm-up puzzles being done. And I also see my co-hosts. Hi, Aaron, and hi, Bridgie.
Hello, everybody.
Aaron, you're muted. Oh. Well, in the meantime, greetings to those who are joining us on YouTube. We have some folks joining us from the Netherlands, Minnesota, Belgium, Germany, and even someone who's, yes, very local to me right now. Hi, Aaron.
Is that any better?
Yes, we
Yes.
hear
There
you
we
now.
go. Hello, everyone. Click
Yeah.
some buttons, it all works.
Yes, good to have you with us. And yeah, you had a busy weekend at the UK Nationals.
Yeah, it was all right, wasn't it? Yeah. Some interesting puzzles at the weekend.
I loved the puzzles.
Yes. Some of the, slightly on the harder end, a couple of them, especially the pairs final.
Yeah, well, I had a friend over there who offered to get it for me, and I was like, no, thank you. I didn't get the pair final puzzle.
Yeah, I'm only taking one copy of that out to Munich with me.
Yeah, so we wanted to think a bit about the live streams. We're right in the season of nationals. We've seen multiple nationals live streams over the past few weeks with Sweden, Belgium, US, UK, and yeah, there's some others that are probably there that I haven't watched. I'm not sure if Finland had a live stream. I know that there's others still coming up, so we wanted to just chat a bit about what has worked really well, what's different, what could be improved, and something that really struck out to me in some of the more recent ones. I think it was with Cardiff, Belgium, and the UK, is that they have names on screens, which I think is really amazing. I don't know how to program that, but I've been very impressed with that. How about you, Aaron? What's something that's...
Well, I mean, to be honest, I kind of picked this session just so I could say nice things about Jason. I think he was involved in all those streams you mentioned. So, and obviously he does the Australian ones as well. So yeah, it's just, I find it great just watching how it's kind of evolving over time, almost becoming more professional, more nice things being added. It's just nice to have the right people's names on the screens, and you can actually know who they are without having to guess and recognise by arms.
Yes. Yeah, no, big shout out to Jason, who's got his hand in that to make that possible. So we're seeing this really nice template of having people's names on the screen and split screens, having three screens at the time. So that's really like up to the game. What about you, Fruji? What's something that's stood out to you?
It's actually one thing that I have seen during the Finnish Nationals live stream when I tuned in. And the one thing that I loved very much about it is that a majority of the live stream was actually in Finnish. And I think the finals was in English. So for like the international crew who might want to see, the final was in English. But other than that, they were using their native language, which I think is a nice addition, because otherwise, like, you don't really get to hear about puzzling in your own language. At least if I think about Hungarian, then it very rarely appears. So it's nice to have that little additional thing so that people who don't speak English, which is there are some of them, they also get to hear a little bit about puzzling from professionals, so to speak, and not just the English audience.
No, that's a really good point. I didn't have that one on my radar, but I think especially when it's in nationals, to have and a lot of people are going to their competitions and their friends are going to be tuning in, that also they understand what's going on, and that also the focus is on the local people. I think that's a really good point. So feel free to write in the comments what you've liked about the different live streams, and if you have an idea of something that could be improved or something that you'd like to see. Let us know. Okay, so it's now the time where, warm-up puzzles need to be packed away. Sorry, Gavin. Yes, let's unwrap the puzzle and see what we have today. I think you'll like this one, Aaron.
I might have already had a sneaky look at it.
A lot of people might have had an idea of what this was.
Well, before the World Series, I did want to get one round Gibsons in there. Yes, they do have stickers, so make sure you slice those stickers and check that the lid comes off. And of course, good luck to all those who are going to the World Series in a little over a week.
Most likely for a lot of them, this is not going to be the first Gibson circle that they do.
And there is a poster in the box on this one.
Yes, that's very good information. Yes. There is a poster on the inside.
Okay, if you'd like to use the poster, you may take it out. I think it's a bit pointless because it's the exact same size as the box, but some people like posters. Maria Rusnikova, you can unwrap your puzzle.
And Maria TB.
Okay, so you may take the poster out if you like. And oh, look, Gavin has got a clipboard for his poster. Very fancy. I like that. He's got a solution ready just in case a poster came out of the box. Okay, we are at 7 o'clock. Let's do a countdown in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
And we're off.
Woo.
Good luck, everyone. I'm going to hand it over to Fruji. She's got the puzzle and she'll let you know what we have today.
Yes. So, as you might have already guessed from the screen, looking at everyone's table, this is a Gibson circle, and it's called A Year in the Forest. And it's an absolutely lovely puzzle, in my idea. I loved it, to be honest. I'm anyway a huge fan of like these weird cuts and stuff. I think it's very well sortable, actually, once you kind of get the hang of the artwork. So you can kind of go section by section, which is also quite nice. But other than that, it's still a challenging puzzle. So there's a lot of green on there. There's a lot of animals that could be in multiple places. And it's overall just an unusual piece cut, which can be very tricky for some people.
Yeah, and Jan of My Speed Puzzling says this is 20% harder than a typical puzzle. So,
oh, very good.
So
what do you think of? What do you think of circle puzzles, Aaron?
I don't like the Gibsons ones. um, I think the cut is just weird on them. I think there's just a lot of small pieces in the Gibsons ones, or more I think than the Ravensburger ones. But I think with this sort of image, it's fine because it's nice and segmenty. I kind of like the ones more like this rather than the ones that radiate out from the center.
Yeah, the very good thing about this one is that each month is signed on top.
Yes.
So you can kind of go month by month to at least do the edge.
Yes, I think the edge. Yeah, the edge is very doable because of the text, but there's a lot of small pieces in the edge that don't look like edge pieces. So
I know.
I'll be very surprised if anyone manages to get all 88 pieces of this edge. I think it's 88. I did count. I might have counted wrong.
I'm not sure. I didn't count it, but I can tell you for sure that I didn't get the majority of the edge pieces, to be honest, because they don't look like edge pieces, like Aaron was saying.
Yeah, I was missing about 15 or 20 when I did it, but that might just be a skill issue on my part.
Yeah, but then at least the text is very legible, and it also stands out enough that you can find at least the text, and then you can kind of already start building the circle based on the text.
Exactly. And then the rest of it is, I think the backgrounds are easier than the foregrounds on them to sort it by. Sort of, I very much think the more wintry months are a little bit easier, but then again, could just be my own incompetence.
No, I agree with you. I also started with the wintry month because all of them are kind of blue and white, and that is very different from all the other ones. So they are kind of self-evident, or they are easy to sort.
Yeah, I think so. And sort of I include October in that just as its own little segment. No, I don't like the fact that November's hiding between the two.
And it looks like we have started from the letter M today.
Ooh.
And so we have Martje from the Netherlands. We have Madara from, I have to scroll down to where we are in the alphabet. Madara from Latvia, Magdalene from Austria, Maya JT from Slovenia, Maya P also from Slovenia, and Mandy from the United States.
Yeah,
we're still somewhere around the 3-minute mark, 3.5. So the majority of people are around the end of their flipping stage at this point.
Yeah, and I think we're only really seeing March sort of building some of those bigger kind of redder animals. So
it also seems like they're assembled already.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the red squirrel that you can kind of see close, and a bit of either the fox or the weasel.
There are also animals that kind of stand out. So there are some elements of this puzzle that are very, very recognizable, and those are kind of your orientation points. I do think that what's really tricky about it, at least for me, this was my first Gibson circle. I have never done one before. And I had absolutely no idea how big the puzzle is going to be. So I had no idea how far apart I want to put them so that it forms the puzzle, you know?
Yeah, I think it's always smaller than I think it is, the Gibsons ones. But I think it's just because there's a lot of little pieces that they sort of make it up. But at least it's still kind of in the Gibson sort of, if you've got sections built outside, you can pick them up and drop them in at any point. It does stay together pretty well, this one.
That is true. It's also harder to take apart at the end.
Yep.
And we have changed screens, and we have Mari Black from the United States. And I have insider information that she's actually downstairs from Michelle right now.
Yeah, she's on her European tour, I'm going to call it. Fresh from finishing first in UK Nationals.
And on to Germany she went. And the next station is going to be Munich. Then we have Maria from Slovakia. We have Marlis from Estonia. Mayday from Poland, and Marilyn from Estonia. And Marilyn is also doing a pretty thorough sort there.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely doable on this one. I think you could do a lot of progress. And I think we're seeing a bit of a mix of people doing the edge and not doing the edge. Mari has a lot of the edge done. I think
basically everywhere where there's writing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Although some of the smaller bits of writing can be a bit of a trap sometimes with some of these sort of puzzles where it's like, I've got the word deer. It's on one or two pieces.
I tried to ignore the text completely.
Yeah,
which
so,
I'm
so
not sure if it was a good idea or not, but I basically didn't go do anything with it until it was basically just those left.
no, quite. And there's also some traps in the text where some animal names form part of flower names as well, just to really try and trick you out.
Oh yeah, true.
So
How many of these circle Gibsons have you done so far?
I've only done a few of them. I don't think there's not a huge amount out there, and there's also more than one different cut out there as well.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, there's this. I think the one we've got today has kind of a 4-piece center, so it almost quarters.
Yes,
Whereas
it
there
is.
are ones more like the Ravensburger with a sort of key piece in the middle as well. And
Good. That's actually good to know. That's really good information.
I think this is the more recent one, but I'm not fully sure.
And we have changed screens going on to Miriam from Germany, Mojca from Slovenia, Muni from Germany, Nadia from Indonesia, Nina from Slovenia, and Nora from Finland. And it seems like Mojca also did a good amount of sorting and has like one little circle section on the very right, which is just sitting on the very side.
You know, yeah, so I think it's that a bit of July or something like that we can see.
Could be, yes. And then it seems like what Mooney is doing is a complete pick and place.
Which is impressive on this.
That is really impressive. I find it really, really cool.
Yeah.
More and more people have been doing that. It seems like it's a trend that is starting to grow to just, puzzle like that, even out of the box, as Mooney is doing, but also just a full pick and place, which can actually be a very good tool from time to time.
And especially with the little bits of text, if you can recognize those, you can just put them straight in. But yeah, I'll be fascinated to see how that works later on.
We're definitely going to keep an eye on it. And then Nadia has a huge amount of the border done, which also looks pretty cool there. Yes, so we're about 8 minutes in. So a lot of people are already well in the progress of working on basically whichever section they decided to go.
Yeah, it's either
likely
sections or edges, isn't it? We're seeing a proper mix of both.
Yes. And then moving on with our next batch of competitors, which is Rachel from the UK, who is a fresh UK champion. And then we have Rebecca from Austria, Robert from Sweden, Romina from Switzerland, Rose from the United States, and Sammy from the United States.
Yeah.
And I can't remember Sammy's mascot's name, even though I love the name.
Can't ask me to remember names. It's terrible. Someone in chat will get it for us. But yeah,
I know Michelle knows.
Yeah. I'm going to be interested to see if any of the kind of UK participants have a bit of an advantage on this one. Just because.
And I knew it. Chompy is the name.
Because not only is it Gibsons, it's also a very UK image of. When I was doing it, I knew what season all the flowers and animals should be in. So kind of just keep things up without looking at the box. But then I have lived in UK woodlands most of my life, so balance. So I could just go out in my garden and find half these things at the moment. So I've very much got, the bluebells. The daffodils have just died off. I know the bluebells are just starting to come out. So yeah, it's very kind of exciting at the moment to see something that just actually reminds me of where I live in a puzzle.
Yeah, that is very, very nice. I didn't even think of it that for someone this might be home. Yeah. It seems so whimsical. Like I love the image very much because it kind of seems like a little bit fairy tale-ish for me.
No, this is proper countryside, and it's even got the right kind of, because it's National Trust, which is kind of one of Europe's biggest conservation charity, weirdly enough, but it looks after a lot of kind of the land in the UK to try and encourage people to visit it. It's brilliant. Very much supportive of it all.
And SJ is asking in the comments, where else has Aaron lived besides the UK?
As opposed to the UK woodlands, a city, and I did not enjoy it.
Yes. And moving on, as far as I can see, we've got on screen Sana from Finland, Sarah from Germany, Stefan from Germany, then Steffi from Germany, another Steffi from Germany, and Tepat from Latvia. We've got a German majority on the screen right now. And I'm giving an extra shout out for the first Steffi from Germany, my regular pairs partner.
How do you think she's going to cope with this sort of puzzle?
To cope with this sort of puzzle.
Yeah, how will she cope with it? Is it a first thing or?
She's very good with colors, like going by color and texture. So most likely better than usually I do. No, that's why we organize ourselves into pairs, because like we have very different skills. So I think she might do very good on this one.
Excellent. Again, we're just still seeing the same sort of thing from everyone. It's kind of more edges in this bit, but yeah, I can see and the centre's done as well, and the ones we're looking at the moment as well. That 4-piece centre.
Oh yeah, true. Weirdly enough, I didn't feel like that was an easy find. I didn't even think of finding the middle. But then I think in this beginning stage, a lot of people are basically just trying to get a grip of the puzzle. That's why we see so many edge pieces being done and kind of trying to get some orientation in it. Because it's also not really like a usual puzzle. Unless you have been training for the World Series, you don't really get to do that much Gibsons.
Yeah.
Especially I think outside the UK.
Well, yeah, I get to do as much as I like, but yeah.
And now we've got Vanessa from Germany, Veronica from Norway, who actually already got a special shout out from Lina Beate in the comments, who is her pairs partner. Yes, because she is jumping in for her place tonight because Lina Beate had to work. So Veronica jumped in last minute. Then we've got Veronica from Germany, then Vesna from Finland, who is also doing her own live stream on YouTube during this competition. Then we've got Wiebke from Germany and Victor from Poland.
And yes, Victor going along quite nicely.
Victor basically done with a third of the puzzle.
I mean, it should be known he has done this one before.
Has he?
Yes, just over 38 minutes on his first attempt. So
Okay.
obviously it's snuck into his practice for Munich. He did it yesterday. So probably quite fresh in his mind.
I would kind of assume that he has at this point trained with most of the Gibson's puzzles available.
So I mean, we're probably expecting him to take shave some time off that effort today. So if anyone wants to do any predictions in the chat, as a decent guide, 38 for his first attempt. How much can he get it down by almost?
Basically, yes. How much he can shave off of his first attempt.
Yeah. But yeah, he's drawn. I suppose he's done those winter months first. I think it is the easier side of the puzzle.
Definitely. But then it's kind of tricky because once you have that section done, then in the meantime, at least for me, that was that way. That like as you're working on those sections, you kind of also start connecting like other little sections that you can kind of just orientate yourself with.
No, it's the same for me exactly. It's kind of you just get drawn to little bits, or just putting a few animals together, and then you've got some little islands to build off almost. In the harder half, I'll call it, of the puzzle.
True. It is also kind of that way with these, I would call busier image with this one as well, that the more you look at the picture, you just get a better idea of what is going on. So you start noticing things that you haven't seen before. We have switched competitors in the meantime, and we've got Zach from the United Kingdom as the last in our ABC. And we have moved to also from the United Kingdom, Abby, and Aileen from Germany, Alexandra from Switzerland, I think Alina is not in the screen. And then we've got Amber from the United States and Anna S. from Slovenia. Basically, we see variations of kind of the same
Same thing.
strategy on these screens.
Yeah, exactly that. So Amber kind of with almost that full border, and then starting to kind of again bits of, I think, December floating down off it.
Basically, yes.
Yeah, I think December and February are the easiest 2 months, and then it's yeah. So see that owl on Zach's screen for February, like nice pair of owls there for him to build
Yeah,
out.
that kind of stands out. It's easier to sort out those blue areas, and then
Yeah,
the browns are
absolutely.
actually also less in the image than you would at first see. So these brown animals are really easy to make out.
Yeah, exactly that. And there's not too much. I want to say there's not too much repetition in this puzzle.
No.
It's kind of, you can pretty much know where it goes from what piece you've got, and not be too
Yeah.
far off.
Basically, yes. So what Mooney was doing actually with the complete pick and placing, that also can kind of
Can work
work.
on-
It's not like you're going to mix up pieces.
Yeah, it's not like other puzzles with lots of birds or flowers or things like that where it is all over the place. This is, yeah, well, properly seasonally sorted.
Also, the flowers are not too big, so it's not like
Exactly.
one flower takes up like 5 or 6 pieces to confuse you.
Yeah.
And moving on, or not? Yes.
Yes.
We have just seen Andrea, and then we've got Anna from Poland, Anne from the Netherlands, Annelies from Belgium, Annika from Denmark, Arya from Indonesia, and Andrea again. So yeah, she somehow ended up at the end of the screen, moved from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
Got some extra cheering for Arya from SJ.
Yeah. I also like seeing the people who just have little like segments of the border all stacked up together and haven't bothered to put it together yet, and just kind of working off this like almost the sectors next to each other rather than in the right position.
Yeah, you
Kind
were
of-
also
kind of
looking at Annelise's screen.
Yeah, it's kind of more what I ended up doing. I don't know if it's good or not, but I ended up doing it that sort of way, and then try sort of put it together a lot later on.
Yeah,
But it
well,
kind
it
of
kind
keeps it all
of
closer
works.
to you. Yeah, it keeps it closer to you whilst you're sort of learning it.
Then we've got Beth from the United Kingdom, Kat from the United States, then Katrin from Germany, Kian from Switzerland, Kira from Ireland, and Claire from South Africa.
Oh, South Africa.
I'm wondering if really from South Africa or actually based in Europe.
Well, exactly. I think there's always a bit of a mix of that with our competitors, isn't there?
Yeah, because we do have a couple of South Africans in Germany who always turn up at competitions, but they are based in Germany. And we have one commenter in the live stream who says watching this and the live streaming of a horse show. Very
As
nice
they should.
combination.
Well, it's wildlife all round for them to do, almost.
And we're already at almost 20 minutes, and people are progressing a little bit slower than usual. So this is not a fast puzzle.
This is absolutely not a fast puzzle. So I might dig out what my time was at some point, and I think I need to speed up ahead of Munich. That was the answer.
There's a question for you. What are your predictions?
I predict everyone will have a great time. There's my prediction.
So we're not crowning a Maidley's Maestro this time?
We're not. I mean, I think the simple prediction is Victor takes about 10% off his time, and we'll call it that about 34 minutes and change. That's my prediction if I have to make one.
Yeah, that already sounds reasonable. But yeah, generally, like if we want to see something in the 30s or low 30s, people should be like well 2/3 into the puzzle. But even Victor is not there yet.
He's probably about
as
halfway.
far as I could see.
Slightly over halfway. I think with the islands he's got built off. But yeah, we'll see. We might probably catch back up with him a bit later on the on the YouTube.
I do have to take a look at what my time was, because I have also done this puzzle, obviously. And I was really hoping to get it done under an hour, which at least I got.
Well, that's pretty good for this puzzle, I think.
I was very happy about it,
Yeah.
but still, it was not easy, and I was very close to that 1 hour. I do know that it was 59 something, but I have to take a quick look.
Yeah, I think I was at about an hour 22, and then Michelle was 56 minutes. So I think you will see a nice range of times.
59:59.
Oh,
is
very
what
nice.
I had.
Very nice indeed. No missing pieces, of course, at the end.
This is barely under an hour.
Yeah.
But I did make it, so I was very proud. And also for considering the very first Gibsons, I was extremely happy.
Yeah. I mean, this cut I think takes some getting used to. There's a lot.
And I did miss out on the screen change, because also my live stream is kind of lagging behind a little bit. But we've got Claudia from Portugal, Christina from Italy, Dietmar from Germany, Dominic from Germany, Dominika from Poland, and Eileen from Belgium.
And again, more of that blue edge that we're kind of seeing in a lot of places, sort of blues and whites.
It's hard to tell, though. It seems to me almost like Eileen did begin with the other side of the puzzle.
That looks like the yellow of September, though, I think. So I think we might just be seeing September and to February on the table, but it's kind of hard to tell on the angle. Yeah, I think that does look like September than October, as if kind of what segment she had nearest the camera there.
Yes. She didn't exactly do that, though, so she did do the rest of the ordinary parts that everyone else did.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we do get another view of Victor, though, who is, I would say, somewhere around halfway through the puzzle.
Yeah,
so
I think
he's
got a couple of bigger islands just off the bottom, but yeah, about that now.
Somewhere around halfway. So at 23 minutes, somewhere around halfway, and then the second part of this puzzle is, I do think that it speeds up as you get into it, but maybe not as much as it would with the Ravensburger, for example.
No, I just found I was left with a lot of the kind of small pieces with kind of just one prong, one hole, and sort of flat stuff on either side. There's just a lot of them in this puzzle, or with only three attachments. There's just so many. I was just at about 20, 50. I want to say I felt like 20 of them left at the end, and I was like, oh, small holes, small pieces, don't like it. difficult for someone with large hands to deal with.
And we do get a little view of our front runners at this point, which is Victor, Rachel, Martje, Mari, Kati, and Inga, sorry. And I would say, like, Victor is definitely in the lead at this point. And then Hana and Kati are probably and also Mari are probably at the same.
Yeah, it's very close
point?
to the rest of them, isn't it? Kati,
yes, maybe Rachel is lagging behind a little bit.
That's what she gets for winning all 3 competitions at the UK Nationals.
Yeah, well, she might be tired.
Exactly. That's going to be no use to her in Munich.
And there was a question of how many of the top puzzlers have done this before, and as Jay has been a very good elf and checked it out, and only Victor has a time on My Speed Puzzling.
Yeah, out of those competitors, a couple of other fast people have done it, but they are not competing today.
And then there was another question of how does one get to film so high up to get a good overhead angle? And basically, there's all kinds of solutions of how people basically attach their phones to sticks to fasten it to a shelf so that it films from high up enough. So unless you actually get a tripod that is suited for it, you basically, you have to kind of alternatively build things.
Yeah. There does seem to be a good correlation between how fast you are at puzzles and how good your camera angle is. So I'm tempted to try and improve my camera angle.
And we're keeping Victor on the screen while we're going on with our ABC. We've got Emily from Switzerland, Eric from the Netherlands, Evely from Estonia, Eva from Poland, and Fabienne from France. It seems like people are holding on for dear life on the puzzle,
Yeah.
basically following the same strategy. What I find interesting is when I was first looking at the puzzle, like once I was done with it, I was surprised that I didn't go with the lines between the segments, but they're actually not that noticeable at all.
Yeah, they are and they aren't, and then a lot of them are the same color, and it feels like overthinking when I think there's better things to go off.
Yeah,
it does feel
kind
like-
of. Because they are different colors, all of them. So it would kind of make sense, but then a lot of them are actually on the edges of pieces as well.
Yeah.
So they're harder to see.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, I do find in my head the kind of the Gibsons cut is quite quartered almost. But it will just on this one it will just follow down the lines in a lot of places.
Do you know how many of these year-in puzzles Gibsons has?
There might, I think, 2. There might be more. I know there's a year in. What's the other one called? I know there's another year in something, and I've forgotten what it's called completely.
And while keeping Victor on screen, we're also moving on with our competitors. Freya from Sweden, Gavin from the United Kingdom, Gintare from Lithuania, Hagar from Germany, and Hana from Finland.
Yeah, and Gavin has done this puzzle before, so
See.
yes, a couple of days ago. So hopefully he'll beat his time today.
Well, UK competitors do have an edge here.
Yeah, I found one other of a year, and there's a year in the garden as well. There's a circle,
Mm-hmm.
and that one's harder than this one apparently. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, but I think a good chunk harder as well.
We're also seeing Victor basically closing in on like the last fifth of the puzzle.
Yeah.
There's not that many pieces left anymore.
Yeah, we checked in with five minutes ago, and he was about half done, and then it's just disappeared in that time, hasn't it? And he's
that's sneaky.
He is sneaky. He did have a few islands off to the side that he's joined in, and a sneaky boy. And now he's just got like the little crumpet buttering stage that he's at now.
Oh, and Michelle is sharing some insider information in the chat as well, saying other Gibsons puzzle, Birds of the Year and the Year in the Garden, both are circles. And she couldn't order Birds of the Year because it's a UK only puzzle.
Yes. I'm trying to see if if there's an artist listed on the box. I don't think there is. We've just seen SJ's question in chat, but
that's also what I'm trying to see, but I can't find a name on here.
No, there doesn't appear to be one, and no. It's just under license from the National Trust, so I don't know if the National Trust have got an in-house artist somehow.
That's also what I was thinking of saying, that they most likely have the rights to the pictures in some way.
Yeah, don't know how, but yeah.
And I think Victor is basically on his last 20 pieces.
Which is, it's all green.
It's just insane how far ahead he is with this puzzle.
Yeah, I will say, is that advantage of having done it before? And I think there is a bit of learning off this one, but he's going to take more than 10% off his time for sure.
True.
Actually,
question was if there is any prize for the winner, and they basically get what is it called again?
Store credit.
Store credit. Thank you very much. So they can basically buy other EJJs.
It almost becomes an never-ending cycle for some of the top puzzlers.
And that's where I remember A Year in the Garden was at the Szybki puzzle competition in Poland. So they did have it at the competition. So then most likely Victor has done the majority of these circles.
But he is down to what? Yeah, less than 10 pieces now.
Less than 10 pieces.
Yeah, there's some of those really small fiddly ones left.
Mm-hmm. But they are also easy to fill in at this point.
They are. He's getting just around the hedgehogs, and then he's done.
Just 2 pieces left.
Yeah.
And done.
He's done. Just over
We've got our
31
first
minutes.
Finisher. Congratulations, Victor. Incredible time as always. And while Victor finished, we also have some other competitors on screen, including Idun from Norway, Inga from Lithuania, Inge from the Netherlands, who is also, I think, on the last third of the puzzle, probably. Then we have Irma from Switzerland and Isa from the Netherlands.
Yeah, we'll soon have a look at who's going to be in line for second place. But yeah, Victor, I imagine, might win this by quite a margin today.
Most likely, yes. I think the closer might be Inga.
Yeah.
And then closely followed basically by Mari, Hana. Hana is actually gaining a lot of speed now.
Yeah, we seem to have an issue with the results system at the moment because it's showing Victor as 42 minutes. So, but we know he's just over. It's about 31:12, I think.
Well, it would give a lot of hope to people to have Victor with 52 minutes. Yeah, it's somehow with 10 minutes over, but that can be corrected. So it will be corrected later on. We're at 32 minutes. So we had, I think, Victor at 31 something.
Yes, 31 something for sure.
And I'm also trying to spot our possible next finishers.
March is doing quite well, but out of the boys on the screen at the moment, I think she looks like she's doing quite well. Again, probably good few minutes until we'll see the next one, I think.
It might be a while still, yes.
Yeah.
And then the question of the day was about live streams, which we have completely ignored.
Oh, as is traditional.
As is traditional. But there has been some nice answers.
Exactly.
I really love what Kat wrote, which is that she loves the commentary encouraging all puzzlers, not just the super speedy ones. It is also lovely when they bring the artists on and do interviews. And she also enjoys listening to the other people they interview. And then she wishes there were more overhead views of people puzzling and having side-by-sides of that view, not just of the people at the same table.
Yeah, I know there's a few more cameras floating around to try and get that overhead view, and they're quite nicely not intrusive if you're on a table with one of those, because they're on quite long arms that it just sits over the table. You don't really notice it. Whereas
there was last year a 10-hour marathon in Germany where they did have overhead cameras around the room, so they were attached to the ceiling, and that way you could get overhead views of specific tables mostly, so they couldn't move around. That was the only disadvantage. Otherwise, these overhead views are, I think, super hard to technically build for a puzzle competition, because the poor people who are running around with the cameras can't really.
Yeah, I mean the people. Float. Yeah, it needs to be almost. I've got to say static. It can't be a human-held camera for that. It needs to be one that's well set up neatly. And there were a few of those at UK Nationals. So hopefully we'll see a few more in the future, because they seem to work quite well. Where you can, especially on the kind of when it's tables 1 and 2 that it's floating over. So it's people you expect you doing well and you want to see going head to head nicely against each other. And yeah, again, lucky at UK Nationals, again, go back to that comment, to have 4 of the 5 artists, show up.
Yes, there's also just so many popular puzzle artists in the UK, I think. So it's kind of easier to get them to be at the competition. And
there's more names on screen.
We
haven't quite finished the alphabet yet.
My live stream stopped again, but I've got it back to work. So I have to jump back to the spot where I was. We have Judith from Germany, then Karel from the Netherlands, Katrin from Germany, Kenneth from Denmark, and Kim from Germany. And Martje on the top left, who is also pulling in for the last third of the puzzle.
Yeah. I don't think March. I think March might well get under 40 minutes, but we'll see. It's gonna be. It
She
should be
might still
pretty
make
close.
it, yes.
She might just sneak in.
Inge definitely as well.
Oh, yeah. There
There's
we
still
go.
4 minutes to go, so I think they are the ones who are really pulling ahead at this point.
Oh yeah. And just a few more.
And Michelle was writing in the chat that you were visibly thrilled when Kevin Walsh was announced as the artist of the individual final.
You know, you got to enjoy the small things. And you know, he's such a ubiquitous puzzle artist. You know, I'm sure this was the only time Victor's been disappointed not to be at a competition. It's like, I know he loves the Kevin Walsh's and the Trevor Mitchell's sort of images.
I'm also a giant fan of Kevin Walsh. I was ecstatic to have him on the live stream. I was so happy to actually see him as a person.
Yeah, he does exist. But yeah, you got to put some excitement on for him. Some of the other artists were absolutely lovely as well, though. I think especially who was at the first one? Angela Holland did the first day, and she was absolutely lovely. And because I think she's done she did the Bridgeton one at World's End Flamingo Park, and then we obviously had a nice 500 from her on the first day.
Also, SJ was celebrating Kevin Walsh, apparently,
not as much,
screaming and jumping up and down.
And also, it resulted in a very nice time for her as well. So I don't blame her at all.
And also, we've got on screen Christina from the United States next to Matje, then Larissa from Germany, Laura from Denmark, whose camera seems to be off. So if she could turn the camera on, that would be lovely. Then we have Lenka, who is also pulling in for the last third of the puzzle, as far as I can tell. And
that's Alina as Lily Horse from Germany. The one we skipped over in the A's because she's running by Al.
Yes. And looks like Larissa is wearing a penguin onesie, which is true. Or an owl.
I mean, if it's an owl, it's very appropriate for today's
fits
puzzle.
In with the December picture.
Exactly. She's seasonally inaccurate, but fits the image nevertheless.
We're in the meantime seeing Martje basically, filling in the last, I would say 20 pieces, pretty much finishing just the same way as Victor did.
Yes.
It's almost the exact same pieces that are still missing. And I would also point out that it would be nice to have Inge on screen as well, who is also super close. And Kati.
Yeah, we've nearly got to the end of the alphabet. Just a few more hours to go.
So we've got Linda from the Netherlands for sure already, and Lynn from Belgium. And then we made it around. Back to M we go.
And only 8 minutes after Victor finished.
Victor never lets us finish the alphabet before someone finishes. But yes, Kati is looking great there as well. And what a nice board she has.
I know. It is the nice to see a little sorting tray board come out for this.
Yes. It actually also helped me a lot. I also became a board user for solo 500s, pretty much all of them at this point, and it was super helpful here as well. And we've got Rachel back on screen, who seems to have recovered from that little snag in the middle, because she also has maybe about 50 pieces left.
Might be more than that. There's a lot.
More?
I feel like the pieces are just smaller than I think they are, and there's might
true.
Be to 100, but it's okay.
Slightly ahead of Hana in comparison now, as far as I can see them next to each other.
But I think it's a race between, I think, March and Kati for second, but.
And then it is actually now between Kati, Inge, and Martje, but they're also so very close to each other. Probably Kati and Martje
just
fighting it out at this point. Basically the same piece count left. Kati was also very deceiving because it didn't seem like she was making so much progress, and then all of a sudden, bam, there she is.
Yeah, exactly. She has finished pretty fast. And we're just
And
she is
Kati
done.
is done. Incredible.
And
With exactly 10 minutes behind Victor. 10 minutes and 6 seconds behind Victor. I wonder if it's the different. What was Victor's first time on this puzzle?
38-38. So he would have still won with his first time. But
Yeah. But still,
yeah, it
would
would have been
have
a lot
probably been
less.
less of a difference.
Oh, absolutely. And March has done as well. And that is the podium sorted out.
Then I see a question that you might be able to answer. In addition to the 2 different circle puzzle piece cuts, does anyone know if there's a difference between Gibsons and Gibsons white label?
White label is generally more interesting art. I think it's probably there is an official description somewhere, but it's along those lines. So kind of the typical blue label stuff is their more traditional images. The white labels,
And
more, I would say
Marty's also
modern.
done while we were talking.
Yeah, the white label's more traditional, not more modern images. Sorry.
I got so distracted with Kati's finish that I didn't realize that Marty was done just 10 seconds after her. I'm so sorry, Marty.
That's not Miss Inga finishing fourth then.
Yes, definitely not. So we're going to watch
She
out.
has just 10 pieces to go, I think now.
Let's see those last 5, 6 pieces. I'm famously bad at telling how many pieces are on the table.
I like her. She's got good lighting though, so it's nice and easy to see how many she's got left.
Yeah, it actually makes it visible. Not the puzzle, but the missing pieces for sure.
Yeah.
And our last
There she
pieces are in. 4th place for Inga.
43.08 for her.
Incredible. And then we basically also have Lenka closing in very much to everybody.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a few minutes before the next one.
As far as I know, Lenka has only recently started like really training for the World Series, as in specifically doing puzzles for that.
Yeah.
If I saw correctly on Instagram, I loved watching her stories because she was in South America for a couple of weeks and it looked incredible.
And I'm going to say she's doing it the right way. I think I've said it before. I think a lot of people started training far too early for the World Series.
Well, yes.
But I mean, each to their own. I just see people training really early on. I suppose they're more used to it now, but yeah.
I think it also depends on how scared people are of specific rounds.
Yeah, and I think the last 2 rounds are probably going to be some of the more impactful ones. I think the Ravensburger rounds probably aren't going to make a difference at the top end, particularly. But if we see some of the larger time differences that we've even had today, it could change the whole result.
Yes, for sure. Is there any specific round that you're especially afraid of or looking forward to?
No.
No.
I will be. I think I'll just be happy to sit down, do my puzzles, and not get too tired.
Yeah, that also sounds like a good goal.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Yeah. See if I can have a beer after each puzzle. That's the target.
And also, I'm thinking that if Victor's still around his screen, he could join in for the call. Hopefully. To chat a little bit about the puzzle with our first finisher. We still have a little bit of time before our 4th.
Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I was very surprised with the puzzle being the puzzle that I did yesterday. And I was talking with the person that I borrowed it from that it would be very funny if the puzzle that ends up at the EGJ today would be one of those that I had from them, because all of the circular Gibsons I have done, which are 3 of them,
Mhm.
they were all borrowed, so I don't have any of mine, and they currently are sitting next to me on the shelf. So yeah, I didn't even have time to get them back to the people I get them from.
Yes. Basically, what I'm really interested in is what did you do differently compared to your first try, or if you do a puzzle for the second time, is there something else that you want to focus on once you know the image? Like, do you even repeat puzzles ever?
Almost every time. And every single time it's a different thing that I want to do differently or do the same. What I would say that the most important thing for me in the second try is the lack of pressure that is often connected to the first try. And that alone is enabling me to go much faster because I don't have to no, I don't have this voice in my head telling me to be faster. I mean, it exists, but it's not shouting at me. It's just being polite at the second try. And the other thing, I think it depends on every single puzzle what I would want to do differently. For this one, it wasn't really different in any way. It's just the fact that I was more familiar with what goes where. So maybe I think for this puzzle, everything was kind of obvious with where everything goes because the animals were different enough. And also the colors and backgrounds, but maybe not all of them, like because the greens are kind of greening, but the rest was okay. But there are some of the objects that I remember having problems with yesterday, and that was, for example, the hedgehog, but in November, not in July. There is one hedgehog in the leaves, and I couldn't figure out where it goes. And also because the sky above this hedgehog it's very similar in color and also has the same branches as September. I always wanted to take those pieces and put it into September, but in the first try when I was doing it, I remember I almost had everything from September, and I was keep trying to just place them in, and I didn't see that I had some holes in November, and that changed for sure. Also, in the first try, I didn't know that there are going to be mushrooms in October, and now I know.
Let me break in for a little bit because we have a 5th and 6th place. Mari and Rachel finished in that order. Mari with 48.31 and Rachel with 48.45. So we've got our top 6 at this point. Continue, Victor.
Yeah, I think the rest was pretty obvious because it's not like it goes fast because it's easy to see. It's just you need to be more relaxed with this kind of piece cut. You cannot really try to jam things together because they are not going to go together. And because of the fact that there are a lot of squiggly lines, especially for the pieces that are closer to the middle. And I don't mean like they are more wedge-like. It's just like the sides of the pieces are more like this. And this is tricky to try to position the piece in only 2 possible ways and not like in all 4. And also sometimes, and I remember this being the case for my first solve, there are those 3 pieces from September, like the tail of the bird. And I remember that when I was doing it for the first time, and also now, I had only those 2 pieces. And I tried to put them together, but they wouldn't go together. And it was very confusing. So that didn't change.
Yeah, it's really fun to hear like all the experience that came with this puzzle.
Yeah.
Do you have any like general advice for people who want to like redo puzzles?
To redo puzzles, first thing is that you probably should think about what you just did with the first try, or maybe what you did like months ago if you want to have a break. You need to think about it, because if you don't, it doesn't really give you anything. You're not training necessarily in a very precise way by just repeating puzzles. You need to take something from the repetition. So the best thing you can do is, make a plan of what you want to do differently this time and try to stick to it. You can also try in the second attempt, you can try to go and do things differently, not because you think that it's better, but maybe because you want to experiment. And just try to have this. And every single time that I talk with like Polish people, I always call it like the Veronica approach. You just need to sit back and pretend you don't care. And then it's going to be faster.
Cool. And Victor, are you happy with kind of the improvement from your first try to this try? About 20% faster this time? Is that typical, or is that better than normal?
It's not really typical, because nowadays it's difficult to have such a big improvement with times being low enough. But because when it's the time like below 30 for some of the EJJs, let's say, if you go 20%, you'll need to shave off 4 minutes, which is very difficult to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really happy. I didn't really think that I would be able to do it with puzzles from Gibsons, because the first one that I did was the one from Szybkie Puzzle from the Polish online competition. I wasn't at the competition, so the copy I have is actually borrowed from Jagoda, who won at the competition. And I remember doing the first one, and I was troubled. Very, very much troubled. And yeah, I don't know. I think I did it like I had my first attempt that I was going full speed, and I did it in the second try. I just didn't time myself, and I was just doing it slowly.
Yeah.
Trying to get the feeling of the pieces, but not to like learn the piece cut, but to just be okay. With this kind of piece cut, I have to be aware of the fact that those connections exist and those don't happen. Is there anything that is actually going to help me differentiate the pieces from the edge from the rest of them? The answer is no, spoilers. But actually, I lied, because
You found something.
There is one way you can differentiate the pieces from the edge, from like the pieces that are trying to be the edge.
Yeah.
Every single edge piece has this little knob, like on the line here.
Ah.
Every single one. And I think it's because the puzzle, when it's cut, is just being like pushed from the matrix. And those are like the knobs that are not cut through, and every single one of the pieces has it, but it's very difficult to see when you're doing it fast. So, but there is a way. And what? I lost the thought. I was excited about the factory meeting.
So now that you've lost your train of thought, we have our top 10, actually top 11. So we've got whoever we didn't announce. Hana on 7th place with 51.26. Then Freya on place 8th, 53.11. Then Lenka 9th with 53.51. Eva from Poland 54.34. And Sammy from the US with 54.45. And then Maya from Slovenia now with on place 12. So people are rolling in now.
Yeah.
And we've got more finishers coming.
We should still see a few more sneak under the hour as well.
And Victor, how are you still preparing for World Series, if at all?
right now just by doing Gibsons, but I think this will be my last one. Because I think after doing some repetitions from the first one I borrowed from Jagoda, I think I got a good feeling of the piece cut and what the images go for. I don't have any of the images that are like in a different image style than the 3 I have, because I have this one and also the one with birds and the one with the garden. So they all are kind of the same. So I don't have like those with buildings or things. So I think I should have done them, but I guess I won't. And it doesn't really matter because I think we will just get something even more different in Munich. And yeah, and panoramas as well. I have done some. I have done 5 of them, I think, in all different styles. So I'm happy with that. And also all of them went really good. And I think this is because it comes from the fact that I remember 2 years ago when I was starting speed puzzling. It was after a Worlds 2023, and in the preliminary rounds in solos, Group F, there was a panorama, and I remember hunting this puzzle down and getting it, and then trying to do really well with it, and I was never really able to. For like my standards that are now very high, I still am not able to do it as fast as I would want it to go. But because of the fact that I was doing it so many times, and also I was experimenting with different approaches, like, you know, where to put the pieces, how to work, if I want to have the whole edge or not, and, you know, things like that. I think that helped me. So the panoramas aren't really much of a problem. The circles were, and I hope now they aren't. Yeah. And unboxed, I think I did like, I don't know, around 100 unboxed puzzles. So I think I'm good. And it's still one left in Szybkie Puzzle in, I think, 3 days or 4. So it'll be like the last training for Munich.
I'm sorry, I got a little caught up with checking out the finishes while you were talking, so I was kind of doing 2 tasks at once. We are at 17 finishers at this point. Yes. So then also the Szybkie puzzle was also yeah, basically focusing a lot on World Series recently then, as far as I can understand, because there has been an Unboxed, there has been Gibsons.
The Unboxed is, it will, I don't know if there'll be more, but the one that was announced, it's going to be like 3 days before Munich.
Ah, okay.
And the Gibsons, I think it was done months ago, but it was within the time that we knew that the Circle Gibsons is going to be at World Series. So yeah, I remember I didn't get that competition. I don't remember why exactly, but I was like, oh damn, I should have.
Yeah, well, you can't participate at every single competition.
Exactly.
Try though. You can try.
I'm trying to learn to not do everything and to limit myself.
And how is that going?
I don't know. I just got a package from EJJ's today.
How many EJJs are you going to be participating in?
All of
I think all of them that I can.
Yeah, well, then we're going to be seeing a lot more of your puzzling in the upcoming EJJs. Thanks so much for joining us, and still good preparation for Munich, or good yeah, relaxation before Munich still. And we're going to see each other in Berlin this weekend.
On Saturday, yes.
Yes, so see you on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much.
In the meantime, we've had our 21st finisher and the last one that snuck under an hour, which was Rob Atkinson in 59.49.
Ooh. Robert for me is one of those puzzlers. I always keep an eye on his times because we tend to have very similar ones. So he's one of my benchmark puzzlers.
And he beat you by 10 seconds on this one.
He did beat me with 10 seconds. And we have our 22nd Rose from the United States. 1 hour 30 1 hour and basically
Yeah.
0.33 seconds.
I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people are targeting 75 minutes for this puzzle, given the Munich rules.
Yeah, that is going to be the magic line here. It's a really tight limit for
Oh yeah,
for a Gibson circle. It's not an easy puzzle.
no, unless the one in Munich's a magically easier image, but I don't think there's any easy Gibson circles out there at the moment.
I do think that it might be like I have no information about that. So what I'm saying is pure speculation. But I do think that they might make it a slightly friendlier image so that more people can finish.
Yeah, and also I suppose so the competition's not weighted too much towards one round.
Yes, that's the other way. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But I would kind of imagine that it would be something similar to this one in the sense that there's like very clear sections in it.
Yeah. Or it'll be more like your Ravensburgers with it kind of going out from the center and kind of
Could be as well.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be something chaotic, is what I think.
And it's not
it might be.
and it's not just going to be a painting of 140 birds on a white background.
Or 100 or 140 flowers to make it a little bit different.
Oh yeah, I've had enough of birds on a circle.
Oh, that was a mean puzzle.
It was funny though, so I enjoyed it.
Yes,
But yes, almost a bit of it's almost birds on a circle appearing in this one slightly as well today. So
yes. No, the UK puzzles were really, really beautiful. The Kevin Walsh is also a really nice one.
oh
Tricky,
yeah,
not easy at all.
A lot of
but,
brown.
Mhm.
That's what you want for a final. It was nice for a final. Oh, we can chat with Kati apparently.
Yay! Very good. Then let's have Kati join us. Kati,
Woo.
hello.
How are you doing?
We're good.
Yeah.
How are you after this puzzle?
Good. I'm feeling great. I've just had a call with Hana before the EJJ. We were both doing a Gibson circular one, so we were well prepared. But unlike Victor, this was my first try on this puzzle. And I'm really happy how it went. I felt fast. I felt good. I had fun.
Yeah. Well, what were your thoughts of this puzzle? What was your strategy?
Well, initially, my thoughts were like, it's another hard Gibsons one with these seasons that I don't like. But it's actually, I think, the easiest Gibsons that I've done from the circular ones, because the colors don't repeat so much. Sure, there are 3 blue sections, but they are all different blues. And also the animals are like, in the beginning, I thought like the orange animals would be very similar, but you can actually tear them apart. So yeah, I think I just tried to go color by color, I would say, because I started with the blues and not section by section, because I thought, okay, I'm just putting them all, and once I see them in one pile, I can tell them apart. So I started with the blues, and then I did the yellows, which were surprisingly hard because I thought like they should stand out a lot, because in the image, it almost looks like it's only September, but apparently they were a bit harder to find than I expected. Yes, and then I just followed along with the animals a bit and filled in the holes here and there.
Yeah, that does sound like it's also a strategy that I recognize, because I also kind of went color by color, and it seems like it makes more sense than going section by section.
Yeah.
So this was also your first attempt on this puzzle.
Yes, it was.
And then how many other Gibson circles have you done? If you've been basically practicing with Hana before.
Yeah, I have done this one just before. This one I find super hard. It's really busy. The colors are not very clear. I don't like it. And then I also have this one, which I bought to practice the piece cut in particular.
Is
It
that the
did-
underground?
Yes, it is. I will say, like, it was fun, and it wasn't as hard as I expected it to be, but it didn't help me with the piece cut at all. Like,
And
I
then-
just followed the different colors of these lines, and they are so not following the piece cut, so it didn't help at all. So I only have these two with this version of the cut, and then I have one more with the straight version of the cut, but I am expecting the curvy cut, so I'm focusing on this one.
What makes you expect the curvy cut?
So we have our theories. And it's just as simple as that the shape, like the straight cut, is only on the older images and puzzles, and we think that the curvy cut is the more recent one, so I expect to see this one.
Well,
And
that's also good intel or insider speculation.
Yes.
I can't wait for us all to be surprised that it's just a third cut completely.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Or imagine some people having the straight cut and some people having the curvy cut. That would be crazy as well.
Yeah.
That would indeed be crazy. And then, how has your practice been going for World Series? How much are you even practicing for World Series?
I am practicing very much. I will say not as much as I have for other competitions because I just don't have the time. But like my motivation and the drive is really there, and I really want to do as much puzzles as I can. So it's the main priority right now. And yeah, I'm doing maybe like 3 puzzles a day at least. And my practice is mainly focused on doing the brands that will show up. So like Panorama Gibsons, Circular Gibsons, and Ravensburger. And focusing on, just getting familiar with the piece cut even more. And also I have, I think, 2 or 3 more unboxed that I didn't do yet. I didn't have the chance to do 100 ones. Like, where should I get them from? I don't even think I have done 100 puzzles this year, but well. Yes, I'm just glad that I get the opportunity to do at least maybe 5 unboxed puzzles, because it's not easy to get them. You need another person to do it for you, who also knows which kind of puzzles you already have and which you don't have. Yeah, but on the image challenges from the first day, I'm not really focusing on, because I feel like, whatever comes out of the box, I'm gonna do it. Like, especially because the descriptions of the pattern, repetition, and also the busy one, like it could be anything and nothing. So I don't think focusing on that aspect would benefit me. So I'm just focusing on the formats.
Yeah, that sounds like a good strategy there. And do you actually still puzzle for fun during
Yes.
these times?
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. Like, I have to admit, before the German nationals and beginning of this year, I felt a little disconnected from like speed puzzling, and it was just I don't know, I just didn't have that much fun doing it, so I didn't do it a lot. And then at your competition in Siegen, I felt like, oh yes, that was so much fun this whole day with all these people, and I had a little spark of motivation again, but it faded pretty quickly. But now after German nationals, I really said, okay, I wanna try giving my best for World Series. And I fall in love with doing puzzles again. So I'm super happy. It's so much fun, and I really can't complain right now.
That is so good to hear.
Yeah.
It's so very nice to hear that your motivation is back.
Yeah. I think that the point is a little bit like being around in the speed puzzling world for so long that, 2 plus 3 years, like it's kind of draining to keep up with these super fast people. And at some point last year has been so super successful for me in terms of competitions. So I needed some push to get going again, and I think German nationals did that for me. So I'm happy.
That's the main point. I like hearing it when people are saying, mostly, especially about hobbies or passions, when it's just like, I'm happy. That means so very much.
Yeah.
And then moving on
to say, my main objective with the practice right now, or like my main benefit, is not even getting faster or focused on the competition, but to be honest, like in my day-to-day life, it's just making my days better, because I'm like in university, I'm having a stressful time right now, and I'm just happy to come home and do my puzzles and get a free head. And like, it's so beautiful to get back to this route of puzzling while doing my practice. Yeah.
Is it also that flow state?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I immediately thought of, because like you get into that flow space in your head and it clears it out. How I don't know how it is for Aaron, but yeah, I can very much identify with what you were saying.
I'm still trying to find it.
It's also just latching onto one thing that you were saying, that like even you say that it's so hard to keep up with the super fast people is just so interesting to hear.
Yeah.
Because like whoever is not among the select few who are really like as fast, you don't really get an insight into trying to keep up with them. Not the same way. So it's fun to hear that it takes so much work to actually be fast.
Yeah. And I think like we all can appreciate the work people put in a bit more, because like I just didn't train as much as the others, and I was falling behind immediately. So that really made me realize this effort people put in, like I really appreciate it.
No, it's so very nice to hear that. Like it's really, really motivating. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. Moving on to something else, because there's still a lot of people puzzling. So if they're listening to the live stream, what would you tell them to still do to get through this puzzle in the time that is left? There's actually 2 minutes left until 1 hour 15.
Oh,
which is the time limited World Series.
I would say focus on the tiny color differences, because they are there. You just need to really try and see them. And also what can help is these lines that are dividing the sections, because they are pretty visible on the puzzle as well. So you can try seeing them. Yeah, I think at this stage it doesn't help if I say that you can see the big letters connecting to the edge. I think people are pretty much done with that part. But if you start with the puzzle tomorrow and you're just watching the live stream, then this is something you can also start with.
Yeah, well, very good point made. Hopefully some people are still going to finish in the last 30 seconds that is left before the 1 hour 15 World Series limit, and then they actually still do have 45 minutes to finish the puzzle before the EJJ time limit. Yeah, is there still anything else that you would like to chat about, Kati?
I was not prepared for that question.
I also kind of ran out of questions. My brain kind of went on like a freeze. Maybe Aaron has something.
I was going to say, all I remember from when we were in France was you and Chiara discussing what the German for hedgehog was. It's useful for this puzzle. So
I actually did remember the English word from that conversation right now while I was doing the puzzle.
and that helped by almost nothing, I imagine, but it's still.
Yeah, it's eagle, by the way, for
there we go.
The people who are interested.
It's one of my favorite German words. It's so adorable. It's so cute.
Oh, that's cute.
Ooh, and I got the very good hint from Michelle, because she's also keeping an eye on us and giving hints. I'm going to ask you a little bit about live streams because that was the theme of the day.
Yes.
That we just kept forgetting with Aaron the whole time. Yeah, what do you enjoy most about watching live streams or experiencing live streams? Or in general, what do you think about live streams of competition?
First of all, obviously the live streams are great because they enable puzzlers from all over the world to follow along the competitions that are happening. For example, I was watching the Finnish and UK nationals last weekend. Was it last weekend? I think so.
It was, yeah.
And it's just great to have these moments captured, not only the puzzle itself, but also, for example, at the UK nationals, like the hugging right after the finishes, it's just always the cutest to see these moments. And it makes us kind of being part of the competition as well, or like not the competition, but the event. And I also like seeing all these live streams improving because I can remember, for example, the Finnish live stream. I also watched it last year, and it was a lot better this year already. So I like to see the improvement in that as well. And also that we get English commentary for most of the live streams. So people who are not native speakers for the specific countries can follow along. Yeah.
Is there anything that you think could still tweak the live streams if you ever view any of them?
I think some of the live streams are already starting to implement this, but just as an idea for the other countries, it's really nice to have the names of the competitors while they're on screen, which is a big technical effort, but it's really nice. And also, I think, for example, just because my experience at the German nationals, you should try to have everyone on screen at one time. Yes, it's great to see everyone and people want to see their friends who are not going to win. But also, at least for the first 3 or 5 finishes, you should have them on screen finishing. That would be really nice. And I would appreciate if I was on screen next year because they missed me again.
How do they manage to do that? It's not like you're hiding
it's
at the
not
back.
like I'm super surprising that I'm gonna be there. But that's just I don't have any hard feelings, but just
It's just funny.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Mainly it's just funny.
It's now a thing, I think. So
They should intentionally keep me off screen next year.
Exactly.
Careful, because you might start a trend there. Just leave Kati off the live stream.
Yeah, I think it is a balance for those kind of coordinating the cameras as to
Yes.
because you don't want to keep chopping to people who have just finished just 1 second wave at the camera, but yeah, you do want to catch those first few. And it is hard. People sneak up on you and just finish really quickly.
Yeah, that's actually one thing that we have also noticed today with you, because it seemed like you were lagging behind the others a little bit, and we didn't. And we I think in the middle area, a lot of people seem to be ahead of you, and then you picked up pace, and we were also surprised a little bit that all of a sudden you were there. So you could be sneakier than you think.
Yeah, I think I've noticed that during the last weeks that I think I'm super fast in filling the holes. Once I see what I'm working with, and I can just have both my hands putting in the pieces, but I'm having a harder time to get this grid to fill in the holes. So yeah, it might actually be true that I picked the pace in the end.
Yeah, it might be a thing to consider, or something to include in your training that you're doing right now.
Yeah, I am not Victor. I have no idea how to use this to get better. So.
I think the only way you can use it is if you want more camera time, you slow down. Not sure that actually helps, but
yeah, could be. Yeah, it was lovely to chat to you, Kati, as always.
Yes, as always.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, and I think we are going to let you go and take a look at how many people have finished so far. So thanks again for chatting to us.
Thank you. See you in Munich, I guess.
See you in Munich.
see you there. We have had 43 finishes so far. Just gone an hour 20.
We are somewhere around halfway
Yes.
with
Yeah.
with our
Just
puzzlers.
just shy of halfway at the moment. So I don't
Yeah,
think we're
because we
quite going to
have
see a ring clear. But yeah.
we have 89 competitors today, and 43 of them finished. So we're somewhere around halfway, almost.
On what is quite a tricky puzzle.
It is definitely not an easy one.
I-
Also, I have seen some people being surprised in the comments that it's harder than what it looks like.
Yeah, because I think on the face of it, it doesn't look that bad, but it's just, I think it is more piece cut than image. It's and that kind of unfamiliarity that people have with it.
Definitely. It most likely has an effect on the
Oh, yeah.
times here as well. And in general, it's just not easy.
I can't wait for the first easy circular Gibsons. I'm looking forward to it.
I was also trying to see if Marta is still maybe in the chat, but I can't
She
see
is
her.
not still in the chat.
Not in the list of competitors.
No. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
We're going to have to talk. This
We're
is
actually going to have to talk.
unfortunate. I know.
I was thinking of sharing the one thing that I found really fascinating at the live stream, because I did see Jason at work in
Yes.
Belgium, and it's actually really, really fascinating to see how he's coordinating the camera people.
Oh,
Because I think what a lot of people don't see or don't think of for running a live stream like this is that actually there's a kind of director in the back who has like a master view of all of the cameras, and they had all these headsets that they were coordinating the people with, and that's actually really, really fascinating to see.
Yeah, and actually going back to kind of some people being missed for a finish, some of the issue with being missed is actually because the headsets are trying to use the same I think I want to say wireless technology that people are listening to music on, and sometimes it doesn't get through.
Really?
He's having some communication issues with that at the time. So that's why a couple of finishers got missed in the UK.
Oh no, I didn't realize that.
So I think he's investing in more tech for future events.
Oh yeah.
I hate to think he must have some lockup in every country he's got a footprint in.
Yeah, I find it really fascinating with the whole technology.
Yeah.
Also, during the European Championships, the camera crew that were working there, they are like professionals who do sports live streams. So they have, as far as I can remember, they were telling me about not rock climbing, but like wall climbing competition that they were
nice.
live streaming, I think, the week before. And just the technical stuff of how they are moving the cameras and how they are making it enjoyable for people who are watching. Because usually if you have 4 cameras on the floor, you have 3 that are static and you have 1 that is running, and that is not shown because you obviously don't want your viewers to get seasick.
Exactly. But yeah, and then hopefully there's more kind of like small static cameras kind of now in place, so you can have a few people out on the floor and those as well on the kind of the top tables.
Mm-hmm. How did they get the overhead views in?
It was just basically a camera on a long arm.
Ah, okay.
sitting over it. Nothing too technical.
Okay, I thought there was something built there.
No. It was just very, very long arm, very small, very small, very small. I'm amazed how small the cameras are.
Mm-hmm. It could have been these action cams even, or?
Yeah. Exactly that. And we've just cleared the 1 hour 25 now, so those looking to get into 90 minutes still have just under 5 minutes to go.
And basically, if there's still anyone who wants to chat with us to join in, then you are more than welcome to. If you want to join in talking about the puzzle, or basically
live
chat with us about live streams.
Munich, anything along those lines, yeah.
Or Munich. Or the competition next week in Berlin, where Victor and I are going to be present, for example. But I don't think there's that many people here who are going to be there.
I got very grumpy the other day because the Schmidt competition's already sold out for December, and I missed out.
What? No, even the teams?
I think Teams has got a few spots left, but
Oh, thank goodness, because I haven't signed up for the teams yet.
not
I have
not
to do
many. I
that
don't
very
think many.
soon.
Yeah, no, all the solo stuff sold out for it already.
Okay. Well, yeah, they were also very sneaky about
Yeah.
the registration starting, because
And
they
I
basically
missed
didn't
it.
post anything about it. The only reason that I found about it was that it appeared on the German Association's website.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're not going to be there.
Sad times.
Is anyone from the UK going?
I
No.
think we all missed it.
Oh,
I only
but-
remembered it when Chiara told us about it the weekend, and by then it was sold out.
oh no, that's really unfortunate.
Ah well.
That reminds me, I have to chat to the people who we talked about forming a team to actually sign up.
Well, yeah, make sure they've signed up. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I consoled myself by signing up for Swiss Nationals instead.
There's a really good question in the chat. Is there a tendency of which months are the last in this puzzle? And I'm pretty sure
Yes.
that we have kind of like
The
noticed it's
greener
mostly the
ones.
green ones. So March,
Yeah.
April, June.
July. I know Victor finished in July, so kind of it's
Yeah.
kind of that grassier section near in the middle, basically. It's
I can tell you I finished in August and March.
yeah. No, I finished in March as well.
Which is
Those
the
ra-
bunnies.
Those rabbits, yeah, those rabbits. I was March and April at the end with the boxes and rabbits.
And then there's also a question in the chat about where you can find the dates and subscription for the future events. And it's on the speedpuzzle.eu website. That's where you can find the Euro Jigsaw Jam.
And
And
meanwhile,
sales for the next batch of puzzles has already started. So there's a bunch that are still on sale, but there's also a bunch that are sold out already. So check out the speedpuzzle.eu website.
and the other important question in the chat is, what's the weather like in Munich? And I've had a look at the forecast, and it's just mild. I mean, it's probably the best way of not too hot, not too cold. Is the forecast?
I'm
It
too
might
far
rain.
away from Munich to be able to give a proper answer. I'm
I had
about a 6-hour drive away from Munich, and here the weather has been incredible. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I had a quick look. Apparently, it's sunny at the moment, but by the time we get to the competition, it'll be about 15 degrees highs of the day. So nothing. Thankfully, hopefully not a sweat box for a competition.
That would be a very welcome first.
Yes.
Because
Although
if
I
I think
still-
about
I
it,
still-
all large championships were in times when it was blazing hot.
Yeah, it's actually that was yeah. I was quite happy when I went to Sweden, and that was nice and cold.
Yeah, Sweden was
Yeah.
very pleasant.
Yeah.
And even the European Championship was extremely hot.
Oh, that was so
outside,
hot.
at least.
I agree there. And we're still hunting for anyone to interview. We've just cleared an hour 29, so about 45 seconds left for anyone hoping to get into the hour and a half.
Yes, basically.
And I think there's a couple of people, one person that might, I think, at the screens. Might be a bit too tight.
But I do see some people who are still definitely going to manage to finish before the time runs out.
Yeah, I do find at this stage it does become a bit of a slog for me.
Oh, what do you mean?
But if I reach an hour and a half on a puzzle, I kind of get the feeling it's not going too well, and it's just everything's just an effort to put in. And I notice myself slowing down around this sort of time when I'm doing puzzle stuff.
Sergio just also shared like a very nice little insight. And the question was, do you rotate the circle puzzles? Because sometimes it can help a lot. And I actually did. And I did see some people who were also rotating the puzzle among the top 10. But also I just spotted Gavin also rotating the puzzle.
Yeah. I didn't with this one. I sometimes do. I definitely didn't with this one. I was looking at the box too much, and I needed to keep it the same way up as the box, I found. But you absolutely could with this one, because the text is does read the wrong way up. Is upside down at the bottom. So
I'm trying to think, but I mostly had it in a completely different orientation than the poster. I had the
Yeah.
poster on the table and not the box, and I just randomly kept rotating it wherever I
Yeah.
was working. And then Hana saying in the chat that she could not rotate since she couldn't finish the edge.
Yeah, and it's too difficult. I mean,
Yeah, it's the only time when you can really start rotating the puzzles. The puzzle is when you have enough of it connected and you don't have pieces flying around, which I think might be the challenge here, though, because a lot of people are building islands. I also see on the live stream right now that there's a lot of people who have like these things in the middle. So
Yeah.
if you want to rotate that is going to cause you trouble.
yeah, you need it connected. Otherwise, yeah, you've got a problem.
It's the same problem with the pick and play with pick and place puzzles. If you like work on it as a pair, for example, and you all of a sudden realize that the puzzle is in the wrong spot and you want to like move it somewhere, you can't because there's just chaos. And I can see that Hana just joined.
Yeah.
Yay!
Let's see.
So we've got an interview.
Woo!
And another finisher.
And she's gone again.
And we also have another finisher here.
There we go.
So Kiara from Ireland is also finished.
Yeah,
So we have 57 finishers. And welcome, Hana.
Hi, nice to
Hello.
see you.
How are you doing? We have heard from Kati already that you have done 2 Gibsons at least today.
Yeah, well, the first one wasn't finished, and that's why I was kind of late for the competition. And it's lying there on the floor with maybe 15 unfinished pieces.
Did you just throw it off of the table, or?
So I managed to put it on a board, but
Okay.
when I opened the meeting, everybody had already unwrapped, and I was still cutting the stickers when everybody had
Oh.
started. Yeah, but it was worth it. We had a nice call with Kati, and it was fun. So.
Do you actually do these calls to somehow train together, or how does that work?
No, it was just casual, and then we ended up spending way too long on the phone, and then had to do the warm-ups together too.
I would have thought that it's like a big strategizing call to like speed puzzle and think about the puzzle itself.
Well, it wasn't. It was about life, not
Oh.
about puzzling that much. Yeah,
Oh, good.
about friendship, like.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many things that I could ask you about, and I don't know which one to start with. So you can pick. How was Finnish Nationals? That's the first one, to tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Or how are you preparing for or not preparing for Munich?
Finnish Nationals was great. I have been in this puzzle bubble for a few weeks now, and I'm continuing on that road. I'm back to work for a few days, yes, but I'm still trying to stay in my bubble. The Finnish Nationals, they were very well organized this year. I have to give a shout out to the Finnish Association for their great work. I didn't watch the live streams, but I heard they were better than previously, and it seemed very professional. And yeah, it was very good.
What did you think of the puzzles, the puzzle choices, and the final puzzle?
Well. There was some yellow there.
A little bit,
And-
yes.
It was a bit too much for me. I'm not a solid color person, so the yellow killed me. But all the other stuff, that was good. And I really enjoyed, like, I could, my mindset was good. I felt good puzzling. I knew I would hit the yellow sky wall in the end, but before that, it was going very well. And yeah. I was happy to get that we got an unreleased puzzle for the first time. So also it was very joyful to see Emilia Korhonen to win for the second time. Like last year, all the other on the podium, it was Riina, me, and Rosa, and we had all done the puzzle before. And Emilia fourth. So this time it was an even round, and Emilia won now with a new puzzle. So I was very happy for her.
It was actually so nice to see on the live stream how surprised she was.
Yeah. Yeah, and she has not been able to practice much, but she came to we had a pre-nationals get together at Rosa's puzzle studio on Friday, and Emilia came there and we did some puzzles together, and it sparked the joy of puzzling in her again. And then she decided that, yeah, I'm gonna also do the individual. So I'm very happy that she did. It was good. And for Muni, I'm trying to do as much as I can, but I have to work too. So.
Have you been doing any kind of like systematic thing for Munich, or just basically doing anything Gibsons and Ravensburger that you could get?
Well, I did do a lot of Ravensburgers for our nationals, so I'm not doing much of them now. But Gibsons and unboxed. I have many unboxed. My kids have prepared some for me. And also, I have so many puzzles that I have prepared some for myself too, like just putting it there and hiding the boxes. I won't remember the images. Like, so I still have a big bunch left.
Is there any specific round that you're like very nervous about, or think that you're going to be very strong at?
I'm nervous for the second day in general, like unboxed and Gibsons, both of those, and detailed, busy, or whatever it was called. That's I think the best round for me, but we'll see.
How are you with gradients? You were saying that you don't, that you're not very good with like block colors, like the yellow in the Finnish Nationals puzzle.
Yeah, that's not my thing. I can do that, but just not as fast as many other puzzlers. Some puzzlers are very good with gradients and sky and stuff like that. No for me.
Yeah, and then is there anything else that you would like to share? Also about live streams, since you have also been like very active in a lot of like live streams wherever you were not participating, or I know that you follow competitions as well. Yeah. Is there something that you like or dislike about live streams?
Well, was it Kati who said, or Victor who said, I don't remember, but it would be great to have the names of the participants on screen. So that's something I would like. I have to admit that this spring I have not been following a lot of live streams because I have preferred to puzzle myself and not watch others puzzle that much. But of course, I'm cheering for my friends and checking how it's going.
Yeah, and then you also listen to music while you speed puzzle and not like podcasts or stuff like that. So it's I guess it's also not something for you to like put on a live stream and then puzzle.
Yeah, well, it won't work for me. Like I need my music for that. But I listen to live streams or podcasts while I'm driving the kids to their hobbies and back. So I will have to leave soon for that duty.
Okay. Then still just a real quick question, because I saw your Instagram stories about how you discovered things about how your brain works.
Yeah.
And that was really interesting. Do you want to talk about that a little?
Yeah, it was been very insightful the past few weeks, like to learn more about my ways of puzzling. And my brain keeps picking up all these things happening around the puzzle table that are not necessary for me to really realize. And it's bugging me because I can't concentrate on the puzzle. And then I try to talk like with my pair or team, just talk about the puzzle so I would not get distracted. But I ended up explaining the whole puzzle to our table mates.
Yeah, but that keeps you pretty well focused, or it pulls you back into the puzzle compared to whatever is outside.
Yeah, but in pairs final at Worlds with the 1,000-piece puzzle, there was not that much to talk about. And then their volunteers were having a chat beside our table, and I was like, I can't. So I might try to listen to music also in pairs, like with one AirPod. Maybe it could work. We will have to try. We're going to have a strategy meeting with Rosa on Monday with all the new ideas and what we're going to concentrate on next. Because I think we are both inspired by all the talent and things we have seen lately.
When is your next appointment or competition with Rosa?
It's the Nordics. It's the last weekend of May.
That's also getting close now.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of got completely off of my radar, but nice that you are saying it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have my daughter's dance nationals, like 2 competitions between Munich and Nordic. So it's just competitions every weekend, and then some work.
Yeah, that sounds like a jam-packed schedule.
Yeah.
But
Well, after that, it's going to quiet down for the summer, and I don't really have that much puzzling-related plans for the fall, but we will see.
Anything else planned that is not puzzle-related?
Sorry?
Anything else planned that is not puzzle-related, like I don't know, holiday or any big competition of your daughters?
Yeah, those are planned.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, holiday with friend families during the autumn, and also 2 world championships for my daughters. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I think we're not going to keep you for too long since you're going to have to be off for another
I will have
very
to
soon.
hop on the car and go get my daughter.
Yes. Have a very nice evening, and thanks for joining us.
You too, and see you in Munich. It's only a week away.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye. Aaron, have you been keeping an eye on the competition?
I have. We've had 67 finishes now. So that's basically 3/4 of the field. Ish. Bad math
Ooh.
somewhere. So 22 people still puzzling.
And I see that Irma from Switzerland, Annemie's mom, has just finished. So I'm very, very happy. She's done as well.
Yep.
So special congratulations. And I know that Gavin was asked for an interview. Is he staying?
He is still here, so I assume he is. If he can whack his mic on. There he is.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello, Gavin.
You actually want me on to interview again after?
Yeah, I know.
Saturday?
I bullied him into going on. I was on my job of interview wrangling at UK Nationals, and convinced Gavin to go on for an interview there. So he's getting a bit of double pain here from me. But yeah,
That's okay.
But no, Gavin, you're one of the few people to have done this puzzle before, and quite a nice improvement for you on this one. How'd you find it the second time round?
Still difficult. I kept thinking, surely I can get the hour and a half. Surely, oh no, I'll have to stretch it out by another 5 minutes.
Yeah, still knocks a good 20 minutes off, didn't you? So
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember my time the other day.
yeah, exactly. And kind of, I guess, what was it that was kind of, any bits go easier, or was it just a bit hard throughout this time?
Well, I didn't pull out half the puzzle into my edge pile this time. All those little pieces with a little bit of edge, and you don't. First time you've done that, because you don't know, is that the edge or is it not?
Yeah, a lot of those pieces do kind of half look like edges, and it's, especially if you're not used to the cut. And have you been getting through a lot of the circular Gibsons out of Munich, or?
Well, this is only the second one I've done. The other one was the old cut, the one with the one round bit in the middle, whereas I'm guessing this is what they're likely to use.
Yeah, which one was that? Was that
It was London.
the one with the London buildings one? I suppose the London Underground. Yeah, I've done that one as well. It's not the easiest. I dread to look at my speed puzzling to see if it says that's even more challenging than this one. Got a feeling it might be.
Yeah, most of what I've done for Munich has been hard. So I got some Gibsons panoramas, just basically what I could get hold of cheap, and there'd been a variety of horrible images. And then I found out there's about 3 different panorama cuts.
Oh, lovely. See, I haven't done any yet, so I feel like this is all news to me.
I did the nice Trev yesterday panorama.
Oh, it would be lovely if we had a nice Trevor Mitchell.
Yeah.
I doubt that's going to happen somehow, but yes, still good. And then, yeah, I suppose cover off the UK Nationals a bit as well. How did that go for you?
Well, I'd have liked to have finished solos, but the puzzle being the puzzle, got 3/4 of it done. So I can't complain with considering how hard that puzzle was. Let's not talk about the birds. And we scraped in, I think, with about 5 minutes to spare on teams. But
Nice.
but it's all about the experience as well. And getting to do Chaos Chicken opposite Mary Black was quite an experience.
Yeah, so Chaos Chicken was quite interesting because we had some nice like opposite ranked pairs in the final. So the fastest people from solos were with the those lower ranked in the final.
Tried to be nice there.
Well, you know, so you got to pair with Mari Black for a nice little 200 out of unboxed to start with as well.
Yeah, the box came along not long after we started.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, it was a rule of once the last pair starts, everyone can have their box.
Yeah, Mary asked, do we want to play safe or go out in a blaze of glory? And we did blaze of glory.
Yeah. Whereas I chickened out, played safe, and got third. So who's the real winner? But yeah. And then are there any other practice you've been kind of doing ahead of Munich? Well, so you said you've done the Gibsons panoramas. Any Ravensburger specific practice at all?
Not really. Just random Ravensburger. Feels weird saying it that way.
You know, gotta mix it up a little bit. And then yeah, I suppose theme of the day, the live streams. Have you been watching any of the nationals? I suppose, or have you watched UK nationals back at all yet?
Not yet. That's on my to-do list. I'll probably be a weekend job around a puzzle puzzle.
Yeah.
There's 15 minutes I'm not listening to. I'm not listening to my own voice.
Well, you don't want to watch back your lovely interview. I'm sure you said some lovely things. I haven't watched it back either. I was just listening at the time when you were saying it, but yeah. Yeah, and then
I'll mute it and put the subtitles on. That's my compromise.
Yeah, and I think that's the right way to listen back to yourself at all times. And I suppose I'm going to go completely over to puzzle guzzle tradition here. You don't happen to have a hard puzzle of the same type and brand to hand, Kati, do you?
I don't for this one. Well, I've got 4 other round Gibsons upstairs. One's the London one.
Yeah.
And London one's the only one I've done, and it turns out they're all the other cut to this. So in a way, I'm glad I went and bought a new one to practice to make sure I had the right cut, but then I was a bit disappointed they've turned out to be the one that I already had wrapped up in a box in the corner of the room.
It's always the way.
I thought it was the easier the ones that looked like new releases. So maybe it was a good thing it was this one that came out the bag tonight.
We've kind of got 10 minutes left for those still puzzling. So
10 minutes left. Only 10 minutes.
And there's definitely people and there's not that many people left. I'm just going to quick look how many is still puzzling. So we've got 76 finished and 13 still puzzling. So.
And there are a couple of people who are so close to finishing.
So
Romina is definitely going to finish. Hintare also looks great. I think Miriam as well. Hagar could also still do it.
Yes, I think we could get. So I think certainly get 5 or 6 more sneak in under the time. But I will ask. Oh, go on, Gav. I'll ask you for those still puzzling. Any advice? Because you've done it a couple of times now. What stood out to you towards the end? I'm trying to get those last kind of green. I'm guessing green pieces in because it seems to be where everyone is.
Just don't obsess over one piece too much. If you kind of get in, move on to something else.
Always top advice. It's absolutely the case.
Sometimes I need to listen to it myself. I had my wife watching me from the balcony doing the final puzzle, and she said she just wanted to shout out to me because I was spending so long in the sky.
Yeah. And do you ever listen to your wife?
Very occasionally.
Oh dear. Oh,
At this point, yes.
go on. I was going to ask if you got anything more for Gavin.
I am kind of mesmerized by people in the last
Oh yeah.
like 10 minutes of the EJJ. I'm kind of having a hard time concentrating because I'm rooting for people to finish.
Oh yeah.
So I'm kind of distracted at the moment.
It's so easy to get distracted by the lovely puzzles.
Yes, and just I want people to finish. I think pretty much everyone, like I can also say for like always on the like live stream hosting side, that like we want people to finish, and it's just so joyful to see people be done on time.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
especially in these last few minutes is when it gets like really exciting, you know?
Oh yeah. We've got one. Ramina's just finished the last minute or so.
I think it was my second EJJ I did. It was the Bambi one, and I was putting the last piece in just as Michelle was shouting time, and it got 1:59:59.
Yeah. I know there's been and another finish just in as well. So I'm actually surprised I'm actually pleasantly surprised as many people finishing it as they are. I was expecting, with this being a challenging puzzle, to not quite get as many as we had.
It's a good thing that you point that out because like a lot of people were saying that it's hard, and also the average I think was higher than with a
way
puzzle.
higher, yeah.
But we still have don't have that many people puzzling anymore, so that's pretty nice.
That's the last few. I mean, we only had, I'm just going to see how many people, we had, 21 people under an hour, and we normally get a lot more than that, so.
Oh, yeah. Gavin, do you still have, like, any advice to people who are puzzling right now?
Just getting what you can get in those last few pieces. And that's really obvious, isn't it?
Have you ever had like this experience in a puzzle competition of like being so close to finishing and the pressure of the last few minutes?
Yeah, they're sinking the piecing at the very last second. 1:59:59.
Really? Which puzzle was that?
It was the Bambi Hachette puzzle. It was on the EJJ towards the end of last year.
Oh, how is that feeling? Of like finishing that close.
It's adrenaline. Can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it? Yes, it's in. Was it 2 hours? Michelle said it was. Yes.
It also feels like the people who get to do that actually get more cheering than than anybody else.
It's always the biggest cheer, isn't it, of any event? It's almost for anyone who finishes within the last 10 seconds of a competition.
That's what I love about this community. How supportive everyone is, even not just the Victors and the Rachels, everyone.
Yeah, and we're gonna get 6 fresh chances to finish up just on the time limit in Munich. So I've got a feeling that's where I'm gonna be.
If I can finish one, I'll be happy.
Oh, I'm really sure that you can. I have very high hopes.
Yeah, I'm hoping for an easy one.
We have 5 minutes left.
And we've just had 2 more finishes as well.
Yes.
So we're at 81 finishes now.
out of 89. So that's a really, really good result so far.
Yeah.
And Kim is definitely
so close.
to finish as
Oh.
well.
I like the way at this stage it's actually finding the done button is also more challenging, because anyone who hasn't quite managed to work out how to keep their screen on for the entire time has to unlock their phone, get to it.
That is also true.
It's always a lot more challenging.
Also, at this point, it just also gets so tiring. Like, I can see that Christina is standing the whole time.
Yeah, I can do that for half an hour and then no more.
Yeah, I have to keep switching between sitting and standing, otherwise I can't do it.
Yeah, it's just.
I think I stand a lot less now after I did 4 hours of puzzling back to back one time.
Mm-hmm.
The mini marathons are always great for that sort of thing. So Kim got 10 pieces left by the looks of things.
Oh, go Kim!
She's got plenty of time to get them in. Nice.
Yes, Kim is done.
Yes.
Yay!
Okay.
It's over 3 minutes. Well, with 3 minutes to spare.
Incredible! Amazing job, Kim. Congratulations. And I could spot that big stretch.
Oh,
Ooh, these last few pieces.
yeah. I don't think we're going to see anyone getting in time, but still, every piece counts. So
Yes, just keep going. At this point, I would also kind of start just trying to connect as many pieces as possible, even outside the puzzle, because like everything that is connected 3 or more counts as a completed puzzle. So if you're this close to finishing, then yeah, if you can see that you're not going to finish, it can also help a lot.
Oh yeah.
It also seems like Kenneth has maybe left the puzzle at this point.
You know what? It looks nice like that.
Yeah, that's also a good way to put it. It's also really organized. If
Yeah,
I think about it.
exactly.
Like the pieces are also like only on the 2 sides.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yes, amazing job, everyone. And we just have our last countdown going. There's 1.5 minutes left.
Yeah.
They don't. So just keep going. Christina is so close. It basically has like maybe 25 pieces left, and it's all just gaps that have to be filled in.
Yeah, looks like she just needs a couple minutes more.
Yeah, it might not be enough. There's just 1 minute left. So
Yeah.
It might be too many pieces for that one last minute. But still, every piece counts. Just keep going.
Go in.
It's so very close. At least you don't have to count much. That also helps a lot. It's also
Yeah,
very
exactly. Yeah,
motivating.
you've got fewer pieces. The more you get in, the less you have to count. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and someone else is writing in the chat as well that was their approach at their nationals, to just get something together at the end.
Absolutely.
The less you have to count, the better. Is what
although in fairness, in person competitions, you've got someone to do it for you.
Yeah, but you still kind of have to count it as well. At least I don't know. Like it's
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That was 2 hours. Oh, well done, everybody.
so puzzling. Well done, everyone, especially those who held on for this long. Amazing job, everyone. Please count your leftover pieces and put that in the system as well, so that you can also be included in the ranking. Very well done. You did very well. This was not easy. I do want to like see at one point like what average this puzzle has. I think now that a lot of people are going to put it into My Speed Puzzling, we'll also get like a better idea of what the average is. That usually kind of gives you a good idea of how difficult the puzzle is.
Yeah, and I suppose we'll see if the kind of the formula in My Speed Puzzling updates to see before the competition. It was saying it was 20% harder than a typical puzzle. We'll see
might
if that
say
changes after
differently.
today.
Yeah, that formula is fascinating how it works.
Oh yeah, yeah. You should see the Jigsaw Puzzle Stats Nerd Discord. Got very excited when it came out.
And by the way, welcome back, Michelle.
and a head just appearing in the camera shot. Who could it be?
Yes, so we're just waiting for the last people to enter their piece counts into the timer website. And we have a head.
I really hope that Jim was watching out if we are clearing the room today. I can see the head appearing again.
We know that's what he always wants.
And if you have no idea what we're talking about, then you need to look at my screen.
Yeah, the thing is, I didn't realize it was happening until I pinned you to the screen.
Yeah, same.
You didn't even notice for a couple of minutes. He was doing it for a couple of minutes already.
Yeah, that's why, because like the little square only shows your face. So you couldn't really see Jim.
Okay, so we're still waiting for Dominic. He's putting in his piece count, and Christina Norris, and Aaron's killing himself.
I see Jim just appearing on the radiator.
Really, really funny.
And there's an edit. We have slanted roofs here, and he just stood up and bumped his head.
And quite right too.
Okay.
Oh no, there he is.
Yeah.
And it hurts.
Oh. So we have everybody's counted pieces into the timer website. And yeah, sorry that this was such a challenging puzzle. I actually chose the easiest of the ones that were available to me. I thought this was the most colorful and endearing. The other foresty one that I have in my shop looks really hard. Yeah, and then there's like the subway one that looked crazy, the metro map. So yeah, I hope this was good practice for everyone. If this was your first time doing this, yeah, I hope you can still enjoy it. And yeah, for those who are going to World Series, you've got another one in your hands to practice. So thanks very much, Fruji and Aaron, for co-hosting this evening. Really appreciate it. And to everybody who participated and joined us on YouTube. And yeah. Bye, everyone. And
thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
And on Sunday, Jim will be co-hosting live from my EJJ headquarters.
Headquarters.
Is he using the rolling chair to do that movement, or is it out
He
of
is
pure
now.
muscle?
He's figured out he can use a rolling chair to.
I have been given an unusual amount of power. And this isn't good for anybody.
Very nice to see you appear at the end of the live stream as well.
Yeah, so he will be, so Mari was downstairs in the apartment, and this Sunday, Jim will not have not a 3:30 a.m. start for once. He will actually be joining us at just before 10 a.m. In our time zone.
I might be relatively sane.
Who's co-hosting with him?
James.
Oh, lovely.
It will be great. I'll be competing in that one.
Oh, yes, 1,000 pieces. All right, well, good luck, Aaron and Fruji, and the 1,000 pieces. And yes, you'll see more of Jim on Sunday. So thanks, everyone, and see you there. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.